Doug here, and I'm with Melissa, and we have a special guest, Kelly, today. It's going to be awesome. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by social media, this episode is going to be a game changer for you. It's going to be awesome. Awesome.
Yes, yes. And we're going to help you go from overwhelm to stepping into some action so that you are aligned with your goals, your brand. Maybe we find your niche and help you feel a whole lot better.
Okay, so in network marketing, marketing is a little bit different. Okay, so our guest today is going to be Kelly, and she has like real world pro experience in marketing and social media and all that kind of stuff. But it's a little different. And I know sometimes you guys get nervous, or even some people even avoid doing this business altogether because they think, oh my gosh, I can't do social media. It's going to be so hard and all this kind of stuff. But don't worry, because in network marketing, you really don't have to, you're not really selling with your social media. That's not the purpose. The purpose of our social media is really to create connections and conversations. That's what our whole business model is all about. So we're not really selling or advertising. We're just giving people a little look into what we do and how we do it, and maybe provide some value and things like that, and develop our personal brand. And when we do that, that's going to attract our niche or our niche or whatever you want to call it. And that's going to help you connect to people and eventually have conversations on text or DMs or phones, or maybe invite them to an event. So that's really what we're going to help you understand today. But we get to do it with our amazing special guest, Kelly Miller. And she is a health coach. She's a marketing strategist, and she is the creator of something called Eat, Dream, Do, where she does coaching for business, for health. I think one other thing.
Dreams.
Dreams.
Hitting your dreams. What are your goals? Actually doing it. Growth. All about growth.
I love it. So like personal growth. I mean, that is awesome. I love it. I love it. And she's also the author of an upcoming Healthy Cooking 101 cookbook, and founder of a few lifestyle brands like 80/20 mugs and Kitchen Garden Home Cook.
Fun stuff. Yeah, fun stuff.
I mean, she's just all over the place. She's amazing, as you'll see. But she spent years working with a nationally recognized food brand, helping them triple their revenue in just a couple years.
Yep.
And by really dialing in their brand and marketing for their ideal clients. Kind of like what we want to do, but in a little different way. So she's going to give us like the pro tips on the for the common people. All right. So she knows how to make social media feel authentic, engaging, and most importantly, she has experience actually selling. And what we're going to dive into how she's done some of that and get some takeaways on how her knowledge can help you. Well, let's move into some stuff. I mean, I wanted to talk about like brand identity, which is kind of scary to even think about. So,
okay, social media is just a platform for you to put what you would put on a business card, but more fun. What you would put on like a billboard in front of your house, but more fun. Just be yourself. The biggest thing that I teach anyone to do is be you. There's no format. There's no easy button. There's no magic way to sell. It's be yourself. Know what you want to talk about and build a brand based on being yourself and finding your voice and what makes you ultimately you. And that's really easy because you're already that person. Like you don't need to be someone else and or quote unquote, like Doug was saying, sell. So I think that's the basics of social. It's what are you comfortable putting on that billboard? So if you wouldn't put it on a billboard for everyone in your world to see or the public to see, then don't say it on social. But if it's something that you feel really passionate about or something that's really fun or quirky about you, go with it. And then it all weaves together with your mission and your voice. It all comes together if you're really passionate about it.
I'm feeling more relaxed already.
So social media, to simplify it, is pretty much anything that you would say in my opinion, on a billboard in front of your house for your neighbors to see, a fun way to share a business card. But ultimately, it's all about being you and authentically you, which is really easy. So that's why all the sales tips and all the how to be on social, you can just toss all that out the window because all you really want to do is know what you want to talk about, know what you're passionate about, and find your own voice and what makes you want to speak up, even if it's small and in little ways. and find your comfort zone. Because if you're not comfortable, it's going to come off inauthentic. And authenticity is the key to selling on social.
I love it. Go
I
ahead.
love that you just said it's fun, because
Has to
that
be.
takes away the pressure of, I need to post. I need to post.
Yep.
I don't know what to post.
Yeah, and we've talked about this, Melissa,
Mhm.
how it starts to feel like a chore sometimes when we forget that. And yeah, just kind of forget that, it's not a big deal. Just post.
For
You know,
me,
like-
I find that I don't have enough time because I want to post all the time.
Mm.
Like, oh, I want to share that. Oh my God, this is something that makes me excited. I want to share that.
So that brings me to think, I do that kind of thing where I take a bunch of pictures and I take a bunch of videos and then I never use them, which is why the Firesider video I shared this week, I'm in a sweater and it's August.
I was going to comment on that and be like, I love that you're wearing a sweater. I'm wearing a sweater today too.
Nope, from like November, and I never used it. And I get excited, but so I don't know if you have any tips for that.
So wait, you're saying you did a Firesider event last night, but then you went back and got the pictures from the fall or something? Last fall?
When I went to share to promote for the event, I used a video I had shot of me straining the vegetables in the fall.
Oh, okay.
But the video ended up too long. I kind of spliced it together and I never did anything with it.
Yeah, I forget to take some photos and stuff too. But you know what? And it's not just related to social media. I end up regretting it about life, because that's one of the cool things about having cameras now. It's like we can just like kind of document everything and capture everything. But I just did the same thing the other day. I went to an awesome Tower Garden farm. I did take pictures, but then I didn't post them.
Okay, so the first thing I think we kind of touched on was wanting to post in the moment. And like, yes, you want to post in the moment and that's authentic and that's great. But what if you can't, or if you like bulk create, or if you have all these old posts? It's all good. Ultimately, if you look at your social and your business, because Juice Plus, whatever you're doing, if you're selling anything or coaching, you have a business and you're selling a service or product on social. So the biggest thing you need is have somewhat of a plan and somewhat of like content buckets that you're going to talk about. So if you're posting or if you're collecting Firesider videos, great. You have those. If you're creating content on your cat or coffee or Tower Gardens or, anything like that, you just know that, okay, this is filed for later, whether you use it or not. If you want to post it in the moment, you have time to support the people who engage or just to get that idea out of your head. Rule of thumb for me sometimes is if I can't stop thinking about it, just do it right away. Because if you're passionate about something, it's like, just get it in, get it out and move on with your day, whatever you got to do.
And that makes it that fun and authentic that you said.
Yeah. But then you
get it out.
Right. But then all that bulk content that you might have, or from things in the past, or from things like Doug, your family photos, or whatever you collect along the way, have some sort of a plan. Because when you're on social, my personal platform is Instagram. And I love it because my family and my high school friends are not on there. I love Facebook for different things, but I find having my authentic voice is harder on Facebook because that's just me. Facebook page, business page, that's a little bit different. Anyway, social has like two sides, almost three sides. It's got your static posts, like your feed. If someone's going to flip through it, that's where I think you should have a little bit of a plan. Know that you're going to talk about these content categories. Some people say you should have like 9 to 12.
Wow.
That's a lot. But if you think about it, you'd probably talk about, if I would go through Melissa's, I would say she talks about her sister, sourdough, Juice Plus, her cats, family events, vacations, wine, nature. You know what I mean? So like right there, we're already at 8.
Oh, okay.
Do you see how easy that is to get up to like 9 or 12?
Yeah.
But I feel like we've almost moved into like, without getting like too technical.
Sure.
But that's almost like brand.
It becomes your brand.
Your brand.
Right. It becomes your brand.
We could almost narrow those down too to maybe make it simpler for people. Like Melissa has like, she loves cats and fostering cats and all that. But then she's also like the healthy lady, which could include, even sourdough and this and that, and even Juice Plus within that, and then there's like family life and such. So I don't know, for me, it gets a little less overwhelming if I think of maybe a few less categories. But I like what you said, because if I think of those categories and the fact that I can just not think, okay, so if it was my birthday the other night, we're at the clubhouse in our community having dinner. Like if I don't think of it like, this is for a social media post. And I have to like think like that. If I just take pictures because it's my birthday,
Mhm.
then when I sit down and do some social media posting, I can just, it's one of those categories. It's like a life event or something.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, if it helps you create a plan by creating like index cards or, like, hey, these are the 3 categories I post about. There's one girl that I just started following recently, and I swear she only talks about 2 things, her garden and preserving food. But it's done so authentically and so cool that I just can't help but keep watching her. And she's got 1 million followers, so she's got a lot of people who are following along as well. And I sat back and I'm like, she keeps it really simple. And I have no idea what she even sells, if anything, which is very interesting.
So
that
I
she-
have 2 thoughts because
yeah.
so in my head, I only post about a handful of things, but I must group them together. So that's interesting. And then it comes to that big question, and you kind of mentioned this, so I'm thinking I know your answer. Do you separate your Facebook and your Instagram so they are different?
Okay, so it comes down to what you can handle. I prefer separating them or at least changing the message. For example, if Doug's at birthday party with friends and he has multiple photos, or even if it's the same photo, maybe post it a day or 2 apart. If you're good, again, get to a plan. But if you can't handle that, and if you're Melissa and having a really busy day with 16 things and stray cats involved all at the same day, then post it on one platform that copies it to the other one. I don't find that okay, let me pull back a little bit. There's some people that I follow on both platforms. I don't know why, but we just do it. When I see the same thing on both platforms, I'm like, you're almost forcing me where to give my like. I'm stingy with likes for some reason. And I think we all are. So it's like, I don't want to force my followers, Melissa, you're one, to give me a like over on Facebook or give me a like on Instagram. But the truth of the matter is it doesn't matter because most people won't see both posts. So do whatever, this goes back to what I said at the beginning, do what feels good to you and what's easy for you in the moment, because this is, you know what I mean? Like, this is supposed to be fun first and foremost. You're supposed to make new connections and have fun with it. If you see it as a job, it's going to come off inauthentically and it's going to come off that way.
And that's something that Doug and I have talked about, because there'll be days where he's like, hello, I haven't seen you on social media in a little while. And I'm like, because I didn't feel like posting. I didn't want to interact with anybody, so I just cut it off. And is it okay, Doug, if I share a couple of the things that took me from overwhelm to action, some of the things that helped me?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I will preface before I say it, I definitely don't have them all down pat, like Kelly's suggesting, have a posting schedule or plan, because right now all I can handle is having it go from Facebook to Instagram. I think it'd be great to have them different. I think it'd be great to have like where on Instagram where like all the pictures look the same. I'm not that organized. So something I followed a social media social seller coach for a couple years, and she had a 30-day content plan in one of the programs that I used. And I have printed that out, and I just continue I use a notebook because I prefer to write, and I just write down 30 days. So it's like a nurturing post, an engaging post, and a selling post. And a selling post might be like your testimonial, Kelly. It's not like a full out, buy my product, it's on sale. And she gives you suggestions, but I love it. I just love the idea of it because you're always kind of serving people, and that's the point of it. And so I will just jot those down. Like every couple of weeks, I'll make a social media day. So that's another tip, scheduling it in, batching content, either batching it like that in a notebook, or Doug, you can share what you do. Like you guys were talking about with photos, something I do when I'm feeling it, I will voice text it to myself. Like, hey, you know who, make a note to make a post about blah, blah, blah. And then I go find it and it doesn't make any sense. But I'm like, oh, and then doing this kind of stuff when your energy is up. So for our Juice Plus community, we do something called a power hour, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. I do not want to talk to anybody. So I have been using it as my social media time because it allows me to wake up slow. I can kind of scroll through. The point of us learning about social media with network marketing, with any business, with our Juice Plus business, is to connect with people and have conversation. And that's kind of the time I use. So that's something that's, I think, also very important if people don't realize you're not going to get as much out of that post if you just throw it up there and call it a day. You have to reach out, kind of make some connections before and after that post.
You're funny. This is why I love following Melissa on social, because she is rogue and she just
You never know what you're going to get.
You never know what you're going to get. But I think she nails the part of, if you're going to be on social, you got to do it your way. And that's the biggest thing that I think if anybody has apprehension getting on social, you just have to figure it out how to do it your way. And you have to be like really passionate or want to have fun, or like, this is where I know I need to be. And this is how I'm going to just do it, you know?
Yeah. So even just to review a few things that we've done so far, social can help your business, and it will help your family and your friends too. They want to know, they love you, they want to know what's going on, right? And the technical term is identity or branding or whatever, but that sounds kind of scary. Branding is just kind of what you're about. You know, like, who is Doug? All right, I play golf, I do business, I love AI, and I love music. That's just the basics, you know? But the other thing is that you just got to do it. You just got to do it. And you'd be surprised too. I know Kelly talked a little bit earlier about somebody she follows on Instagram that only talks about 2 things and they have 1 million followers. And that's different than what we're talking about. That is awesome. But first of all, that's probably more of like, I don't know what that person's doing. Maybe they just love.
She just might be a content creator. She just might be, she's got a different passion. So to connect it back to the person that's going to be showing up on social specifically for a Juice Plus promoting business. My point in saying that she only has 2 people is when we were talking about different categories of things to talk about.
Yeah.
You just can have music. What genre of music? You know, what different fun AI apps are you talking about? So if those were the 2 things that you showed up about, you could go deep within all of those, and that's part of your brand. The other way of your brand is the look and feel. Melissa uses a lot of greens and purples, and those seem to be the colors that she gravitates to, and I see her use those a lot. For me, I use a lot of black and white, and I'm starting to bring in greens. Look and feel, that's also your brand. But if you're not comfortable with the way you look, do top down, do voiceovers. Yeah. There's ways to do it. And to your point, the last thing I'll say is, you said the more you do it, the better you get. I set up a commitment when I started this in 2020, when I really started like leaning back into Instagram and social media as a whole. I said, every Wednesday I'm going to go live. And then it was 2 days a week. And I did probably over 200 lives. And then I started really coaching, and just, now I can do it. And my bestie was like, what are you doing tonight? I'm like, jumping on a podcast. Are you nervous? No. Ian's like, are you nervous? I'm like, no, it's Melissa and Doug. but I've done so many different things.
Computer is going to take a poop. So it's going to.
But you work up to it. So you work up with what you're comfortable. Maybe you start with photos. Maybe you start with pre-filming a video or 2. And if you don't get it right within the first couple times, don't do it, because your energy's probably off. You'll forget what you said. You know, there's so many different things. So yes, you don't need to be a content creator. You don't need to plan it all out. You don't need to do it when your energy's low. And you don't need to just show up constantly saying, buy my thing, buy my thing, buy my thing. It's about finding your voice and having a lot of fun and doing it your way, because that's what we want to see. You're creating your own like reality TV show. Like, have it your way. Make it be about what you want to be about.
Yeah. So is that how? That's pretty cool to think. I just had like a breakthrough, I think. So we have like our brand, but then if we start moving toward our niche is more like the people we're targeting or whatever. But we may not really. I mean, I feel like whatever your brand is, that's your niche. You're going to attract yourself primarily, right?
Primarily, I find that the person that you're looking to attract is generally an older version of yourself. Your yesterday self, the person you just grew from.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it could be 17-year-old Kelly, but it could also be 3 days ago Kelly that didn't know how to do what she knows how to do today. Sure. Usually that's generally your ideal client, usually, because most of us want to share something that we now know with someone who doesn't. And that's what lights us up. But your niche can also be this wonderful, beautiful thing called our gift, and what we're really good at doing that we don't realize we're good at doing. So like, Doug, are you really good at playing the guitar? Or are you just really good at geeking out over AI and you could talk about it endlessly? Then that's your gift, and your niche could be in, using AI for your ultimate goal. Does that make sense? Like, my gift is
Yeah.
cooking food from multiple weird things in the cabinet. I can make anything taste good. I'm not Gordon Ramsay. I don't want to be. I'm not any of the fancy chefs, but I can find healthy foods, and that's just my gift. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make money off of this, because you're allowed to make money off your gift. Maybe your gift is being a cat mom. Maybe your gift is telling people about the newest movie. Maybe your gift is gossiping. And you gossip. How do you turn that into something fun and make it your niche? Well, hey, I found this new product, or hey, I found this new movie, or hey, there's this new app. When you lean into your gift, I find that your gift can also be your niche. You just have to look really far deep inside and be like, yeah, it's okay that that is what makes me money.
Just because, let's say, cats for Melissa, or playing drums for me. Like, I can do like drum videos, which I don't nobody it's like I need to do more of that. But let's say Melissa with cats, she can post stuff about cats. That doesn't mean she's only promoting cats. That means that that people that love cat stuff are going to be attracted to her. And then as she gets to know them and she has conversations, I mean, that's what we do. So this is turning into a coaching session for me. So I appreciate this, Kelly. But because sometimes, and I'm just going to explain what I'm feeling, because I know people listening feel the same thing. So sometimes maybe somebody in Juice Plus thinks, oh, I don't eat healthy enough. Or I'm not like a fitness person, but so and so is out there doing CrossFit and blah, blah, blah. And I just like doing this, or I like sewing, or I like doing puzzles or something, right? But you don't have to directly market something that's health related or one of the core four of Juice Plus. All you want to do is meet people.
Yep.
So, I mean, that makes
Yep.
it kind of simple. So therefore, I can answer my own question. I was going to say, sometimes it feels weird, like when it comes to, for me, like figuring out my brand identity, like I know that I'm a musician. I'm like a tech nerd. I am overcoming heart disease and reversing heart disease through plant-based diet. And, I have all these different aspects, entrepreneur. But I feel like if I just post about all these things, it's kind of like, oh, that's too much. It's no good. But if I'm just being myself, it is good.
It is good. And when you, again, when you dial it back to like a plan, if you're the type of person that needs to plan, just sit down and write out some of the categories. Like Melissa said in her course and who she was talking with, I worked with a top Instagram social media. Everyone knows who she is on Instagram. I was on her Facebook team. I managed a 7,000 person group, plus helped her business. So like, not only did I get to see how she strategized and taught Instagram to all of our members, but I also get to see how she did it specifically herself. And what Jasmine taught, her name's Jasmine Star. I don't know why I don't even say it. I'm very proud of working with her. She taught the 9 to 12 buckets inside of her business social curator. And she originally started by giving templates and photos to people, especially those of us that don't know how to take good photos. This was when Instagram grids had to be perfect, and they didn't also know what to say. This was way before Chat GPT or any of the prompts that can take what we want to say and polish it. And that's what Melissa was trying to say too. She's like, I just voice memo something as a note to myself and it doesn't make sense. Well, voice memo it to chat and chat will make it make sense for when you're ready to post it later. And it's like, oh yeah, that point. So to bridge it, weave it all a little bit together, you can have 1,000 different things. I suggest not. I suggest like just having a couple that you're always going to talk about and just go back to it, because then when you're like, I haven't posted in a while and I should connect with the people that I want to connect with, or I want to do a promotion, or there's this great incentive going on and I want to show my face and meet new people. How do I do that? Well, it also works the opposite way. It's like, hey, these are the 9 things that I'm interested in. Let me go find some other people that like coffee, or that like cats, or that like drums, or that are getting over breast cancer is my health journey, or heart disease, or wants to start a garden. And that's how you meet people and reach out past your sphere of influence, past your family, friends who don't want you to be like, don't ask me to buy your stuff anymore.
This is awesome. Because you're going way beyond like social media coaching here. You're doing just pure Juice Plus or network marketing business coaching. And I usually think of it as, if I have nothing to post, I'm probably not doing anything. I'm not doing
Could
enough.
be.
And in
Oh.
the same way, if I need some people to talk to, like whatever my interest is, just go find some other people doing that thing and go hang out with them.
That's your
Or
biggest goal. Melissa,
in
yeah,
our
go for it.
community, something you've said to me is, if I don't have things to post, did I fall off the mission? Am I not living the mission, being healthy, our core four? What am I doing? Am I eating well? Am I sleeping well? Am I exercising?
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to say, like, as we're talking, you really have me thinking, maybe I did, and this is me, this is personal, because I can be a little scattered, and sometimes I post something super random, but maybe I disconnect my social medias and I post to Instagram when it's only 3 of those topics. And that could be something I could handle, because there's just a little button that says flip to Instagram. And that's something I'm going to think about a little bit. And then maybe that helps a little bit with branding and
Yeah.
niche and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it's about, just have fun with it, do it. What are your goals? Why are you showing up? So whether we're going into network market coaching or sales coaching, and then it's like, how do you say the thing, and what do you do? What do people want to do? And how many times do you just give? Can you give a tip? What do you like?
Right.
Coffee? Here's a coffee recipe, a coffee poll, you can talk about cats. Who has an orange cat? What's your favorite cat meme? Like, there's so many different things. And then but if you only want to talk about, like Melissa just said, 2 or 3 things, then you just go deeper. You don't have to go broader. You can go deeper. And what's comfortable about that, and just find your way that's a little bit consistent, so that people can get the feel and know, like, I know what Melissa's going to do. I know she's going to be in the corner of a photo, and she's going to have a funny face on. Like, that's what Melissa's brand is. It's quirky. I love it. It's quirky.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I think quirky is part of your brand, because it's part of your personality too. So like when you do like these
Embrace the weird,
completely random posts, that I look at it and my head turns a little sideways, but I think that's fine. I think that's part of like knowing Melissa. So you should definitely stick with that.
So I wanted to mention, there's 2 words that haven't come up that I think a lot of people freak out about with social media: perfectionism and imposter syndrome. Perfectionism, like, I know I used to struggle with that, and I know some people who still do. They want to write it perfect. They want to get the right picture. They want to make sure they say the best thing. Nobody's looking.
It doesn't matter.
Everybody is not seeing your post. You have to post it multiple times, multiple different ways. Just do it. If it feels good, just do it.
And that goes back to the being passionate about it, right?
Like, I mean, I've shot reels, I've done live videos where I'm like in the sun and I'm like this, and I'm like, I'm just going to do it.
The perfectionism, I think it all comes back to, and even imposter syndrome is a fear. There's a disconnect. And the women that are in my life, that are in my coaching or just in my circle, and they want to have a business and they want to get to 6-7 figures, and they want this like massive, abundant, whatever, you know what I mean? The abundance of life that could be yours. I always say, but are you really passionate enough? Because you're not going for it. You're not showing up. Like, there's something holding you back. Well, I don't hear the excuses. You don't want it bad enough, or it's not the right time. There's different things. So that's when you find a buddy system and you just start small.
And I think it's easy to get that imposter syndrome with how much you see on social media. Like, I don't know if any of you do, but sometimes I just want to go on reels to waste a little time. And then 15 minutes goes by and I'm like, what am I watching, and why do I care? And why is this person shooting this weird video? Like, don't take an hour to make a reel. Make a reel, get it done. Don't make it perfect. Don't worry about if you said someone, unless you're like that account that you follow, that you have 1 million followers, you're not getting a troll. You're not going to get hate mail. Like, and you and I have talked about that, Kelly, when I wanted to prepare a presentation for myself, because I worry that I'm going to say something from the medical field, and some other pharmacist that follows me on social media is going to be like, well, that's not correct. And then I'm going to think I'm not smart enough, and etc. But again, that goes back to being authentic and being yourself. And, you know, maybe sometimes even what we're sharing, like you said, if you're coaching someone and they're not passionate enough, then maybe it's not the right thing. But sit down and, that's, and even trying to find like the couple of things you post about might take a journaling exercise. It might take an AI exercise. Like, these are the things I really like to do. These are the things I did in the last month. Help me come up with some topics of what I can post about.
You could even deep dive into what are some topics that I feel safe posting about. For 40 years of my life, I was told to be quiet. Don't talk. I mean, so many things about my upbringing and weird stuff that we're not going to get into here, but we could, was to dial it back and hide for protection. So I understand that a lot of people either don't feel that they have a wild enough story that makes them different, or they don't feel that they're ready, like potentially what Doug was saying. I'm not living the perfect way, or I don't have the bubbly personality, or their passion just isn't there, but they still want it. And they know social media, because that's what we're here to talk about, is the avenue to get it, right? And that's where you have sisterhood and community. No offense to the bros and the dudes in the room, but a lot of women want to be heard and have their voice, but they don't know how to find it because they just struggled for so many years. And that's where you have buddies. And that's where Melissa can say to me, Kelly, I posted, but I don't feel like going back and looking at it or entertaining people. I'm tired. Or, hey, I found a cat, or my cat did this, or, oh my gosh, I posted and ghosted. And, you get caught up in the things. And I'm just like, so what? Start over tomorrow. Or
a lot of that comes back to comparison, though, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, it's not even just authenticity, it's authenticity. There's that word again. It's the fact that we gotta so when you're doing that journaling or whatever, or just like thinking, you gotta be secure in who you are and just like not really give a crap what people think, it's like, this is who I am. Just that whole comparison thing, so we got to fight against that. And what it does, it steals dreams away from you. Like Kelly's talking about, like, people want something and then they don't go after it because they're comparing themselves to others. So therefore I can't do this, or I can't talk to people about this because they're going to think this of me. They're going to think that of me. And they're not. What if they just think, I love that person, they're awesome, or, ooh, their story resonates with me, or, oh my gosh, they rescue cats and that is so cool. How do I do that?
So I have a thought on comparison, and I'm glad you brought that up, because again, that's something we've talked about. If we're going to talk specifically with Juice Plus, there have been times, there's friends I follow, there's just other partners I follow, and they are doing these, magnificent things and all these great events. And I'm like, I'm never going to be able to do that. I can't do that. I'm never going to get to where they are. So you could pause that account and just not see it. Maybe a better idea is digging a little deeper and finding out why the comparison bothers you. Because every time I've seen someone who's moving, shaking, getting it done, having great events, having great success, I'm sitting on my butt not doing my job. Like, there are parts of my business that have fallen down. So it's like, you're only comparing them because you know what you're capable of and you're not doing it. So just sit back if you start to feel that comparison. And something I just read said, use comparison as a teacher, because everything we're doing in life, somebody's done. Like, I know we keep paralleling cats. We moved into this house 4 years ago. Somebody called me and said, can you trap my unneutered cats? And I said, I don't know how to do that. Well, good thing I was part of a rescue and someone knew how to do it, and I learned how to do it. They told me what to do. I got a trap, trial by error. So if you see someone doing something and you feel like they're doing it better than you, how can they teach you? Even with social media, even with the posting. I think it's funny, in the beginning, I used to just share flyers. I used to just share posts. I didn't engage with anybody. I always posted the same thing over and over again. And you don't want to do that, because you know what I mean? Look at what they're doing. In fact, I took one of Doug's this week, but because it coincided with something else, something I learned, but the same topic. But I took his verbiage and turned it into something I would say. and from my medical perspective. But always ask.
What you're talking about, I like to use the analogy of a mirror, and whether it's good and or bad, what we criticize or I find what we're attracted to in others or we compare in others is what we're trying to bring out in ourselves.
Mm.
So it takes a bit of self-reflection and a bit of, eating some dirt sometimes to be like, I'm sitting on my butt getting mad at this person. Or yeah, like you said, they're triggering, I could unfollow, but wait a minute. No, I actually see myself in her or want what she has. She's got a big platform speaking or whatever it is. Or I want the way she could just talk for a half an hour. I get stuck on my words. You just have to, what is triggering you and why? Well, I'm a grandmother and I don't look as good as I did years ago. Okay, let's dig into that. And that's where when you have friends and community and say, okay, well, you know what? What do you want to do? I want to be a top national ranking associate, right? Okay, well, how are you going to do that? Well, look at Jillian. Look at her. How did she do it? What can you do to be like that? Who can you partner with to try it? Let's do a live. Let's do a fun reel together. Let's do what, like, how can we cheer each other on? And that's the community element that, because accountability, finding your voice, and just constantly coming back to it, it's almost the same as a diet or with social media or with hitting your goals. It's a cycle. You just have to keep doing it. You come back to it again and again and again. There's no perfect plan on living a life. There's no perfect diet. We know that. There's no perfect life. No one has the perfect journey. And, if you're comparing somebody, there's a reason for it. So it's like, why? What do I see in that person? And again, it could be a bad trait that you want to cover up about yourself, or it could be a good trait that you want to pull out.
Absolutely. And we're talking about in this show, we're talking about how you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to do all this stuff, but there are going to be people that have amazing social media within your same company, but that's because that's their thing. It's in the same way, like with technology, like I do a lot of stuff that people, they don't even understand what I'm doing. They don't need to, but I use it for my business. But that's okay. It doesn't mean that I'm going to have more success. It probably means I end up wasting time doing some of that stuff, so, but I love it and I wouldn't have it any other way. So you'll see some things happening out there on social that are different than some of these basics we're talking about. But if you get the main idea of what we're talking about, first of all, you just got to do it. Get over it, get over yourself, and just post, share your story, figure out your what you're about, your niche, and what makes you unique. What do you do? What do people come to you about? What are the things you just love doing? It might seem boring to you, but don't worry, there's other boring people out there that are doing the same thing, and those people are going to want to follow you, and then you're going to end up talking to them, and that's how we do business in this anyway.
Exactly. You don't need, it's not a numbers game. I mean, like, it's a numbers game where you want to meet people and you want to get in front of people, but it's also the depth of those numbers. You don't need to have a big account. You don't need to wait till you get to 1,000 people to start selling something, or it's not about that, because there's so many accounts that have small counts or small reach. They might not have the most numbers. Social proof, I think, is one of the worst. Social proof numbers is one of the worst debilitating things to look at in life. Just, if you could put your blinders onto anything, just put your blinders onto that and just show up.
The number of likes and
the
stuff?
number of likes, the number of followers. I don't believe in any of that. I myself don't have a large follower count because I mostly remove all the spam and the bots, and I keep it low for a reason, kind of protect my community. And yeah, it's about deepness, depth, and then getting in front of the people who, there's a whole nother level we could go. But yeah, for the basics, like you said, get your butt in front of the camera and do it.
And when you start becoming regular with this stuff, you might not have, sometimes you post, and I think we all look at like how many likes we got or something, and we shouldn't, because it doesn't really matter. But you might have like one like, and it's like, oh, and it's your mom, and it's like, no offense, mom. But the thing is, you go down and you play pickleball, like I do sometimes, or I go to the golf course and they're like, hey, how's that cabbage coming? You're growing on that tower thingamajig, and it's like, oh,
they're watching.
They are watching. People don't always hit like, but they know.
I saw this on something. Gary Vee maybe said it, and he said, just remember what it's like to be in a room with one person and what can happen. How many are 10 people in a room? And then what's 1,000? So like when you really think, oh, I only had one person, imagine how deep that relationship could be for that one person, or how deep that conversation could be. That one person's paying attention. And then there might have been 25,000 people that walked by, but you know what I mean? So it'll get to the person that's supposed to. The biggest thing is probably consistency these days. People don't stay consistent. And if your consistent is twice a week, that's fine. All the algorithm, if you can't do it, for me, I didn't show up for 3 months. I couldn't. I'm writing a book. I just couldn't handle it. That's fine. But like, get back on when it's your avenue to success, and get back on the track and just do it and be consistent in what works for you. That helps.
Love it.
Excellent.
Well, we could talk about this subject forever. I'm thinking I want to have Kelly back, and then we will talk about some of the technical things, because we want to talk about, strategy with reels versus stories and post. And like Melissa, I mean, I'm still thinking about the fact that she said she posts on Facebook and it goes to Instagram. And I'm thinking, well, I do my stories on Instagram and they go to Facebook. So like, we need to have this debate, and then there's TikTok. I mean, that's just, what the heck are we supposed to do with TikTok?
So before we sign off, did we tell people how to get in touch with Kelly, or we'll put that in the link to the
I'm
podcast?
going to put links down below, but just to remind people, she has Kelly has something called Eat, Dream, Do. What is that website?
EatDreamDo.com is the hub right now for me. It's my motto. It's one of the books that I just wrote. I have a club. I have a bunch of fun things that it's pretty much, this is just your 3 ways to go about life. Put yourself first, what you eat, food, mind, have some dreams, know where you're going. Clarity is key. Take action, take the do. Eat, Dream, Do. Health Coach Kel on Instagram or Facebook, 1L. That's where to find me, those 2 places.
Health Coach.
So much.
Awesome. Melissa, thanks for being the wingman as usual.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would not know what
guys.
to say. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. This was awesome. Thank you, Kelly.
Thanks. Yeah,
Thank
have
you,
me back anytime. Thanks, guys.
All right.